everybody. This is Terri A. Wilson, and I'm here with another pop-up interview. If you've seen one of my interviews before, then you will know what I'm doing here, and I'm glad that you came back to watch this one. If you haven't seen one of my interviews before, thank you very much for trying this out. I know there are a lot of things that you can do with your time these days, and I appreciate you spending some time with me and my guest. You're really going to like my guest. The best thing that you can do to find out about the pop-up interviews is to hit the bell and to subscribe to this channel and then get notifications every time I post a video. The whole concept behind pop-up videos is that the videos happen randomly based on what's convenient for me and for my speaker. I do need to let you know, if you have seen the last couple of videos, I do have a cough drop in my mouth. It's the same kind of sinus issues I've been struggling with, and it just keeps me from having to cough all over the microphone, and nobody wants to see that mess. Trust me, it ain't good. Go to my website, terriawilson.com, and hit the pop-up video link, and you can fill out the form and you can be on my show. Now, I am taking the months of June and July off for as a hiatus. I've got some conferences and some vacations that I'm going on, but I'm already filling up for August. I'm looking for people who are authors, book bloggers, and or service providers or readers, or just anybody who wants to come out and hang out with me and talk about books. Sounds like a good deal. My guest tonight, Carissa Weintraub, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I was practicing it in my head the whole time I was talking. You are a service provider.
Mm-hmm.
So you are actually my first service provider.
Okay.
So awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do for authors and readers?
Okay. Well, my website is called Love Romance Reads, just all one word, .com. And the whole idea was to bring readers and authors together in a place that was not Facebook and not Amazon. Mm-hmm. About a year ago, there was a lot of kerfuffle, and this happens every so often, where authors' books just disappear off of Amazon. Or they would lose their ranking, or Facebook accounts would just be closed down. And for authors whose primary source of reaching their readers is through Facebook, if they get their account closed down, that's it for them. Mm-hmm. That's devastating. So what I really wanted to do was have a kind of a new platform, which is what this website is supposed to be, where reviews would not be taken down, where the books would not be taken down, the author would not be taken down. So readers could always go to this website and find the author that they wanted to find, and hopefully find other authors that they weren't aware of. So I would love it if, like, my idea was to have just hundreds and hundreds of romance authors on this website. We do blog postings, so authors can come and post blogs. It usually is around a topic, but sometimes it can just be what they want it to be, what they feel inspired to write about. We have contests every month for readers, and we're growing. I'm just trying to think of new and better ways to get readers and authors connected. It's been less than a year that I've had this website, so lots of ideas are still percolating in my head about how to do that.
And is all this free to the authors and readers?
It is all free to, it's all free to the readers, absolutely. It is free to, most of the things are free to the authors as well. There's two different levels. There's a free author listing. With a free author listing, the author gets a website or a page all to themselves. They can list as many books as they want. They can have unlimited reviews. They can post on the blog. They have access to Facebook. All of that is for free. If they want to do a paid author listing, then it's only $35 for the year. And if they do that, every time they have a new release that comes out, that's featured on the new release page and also in the newsletter. And that's the biggest difference between a paid and a free listing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really good deal.
Yeah, actually it is $35 a year.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
did you have computer experience before you did this, or did you just teach yourself how to do it?
Did I have computer experience? Not enough, clearly, is what I have discovered. I've done websites before. I'm a teacher, and I'm also did writing before I did this too. And so I had my own website. I've done lots of stuff with Google Docs and everything through my work. But yeah, it's definitely still a learning curve. I knew how to set it. I knew how I wanted it to be set up, and then I kind of hit a wall. So it's definitely been a learning process. I do work full-time during the school year, so it's my vacation times that then I go into full gear learning how to really make this website what I envision I want it to be like.
Are you working on by yourself, or do you have a team?
Nope, by myself.
Wow.
By myself, yeah. I would love to have a team, but there's no way to afford one, so it would be volunteers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anybody that wants to volunteer, I would love to have volunteers.
Well, I was going to say, if anybody's listening to this, because I'll have all of your contact information in the descriptions. Yeah. And so we'll see if we can get you some people who might want to help you.
That would be fantastic. Because there's just so much I would love to do with it, but I haven't been able to. So.
All right. Well, what are some things that you would like to do for the future? Let's talk about that.
I would love to have one thing we're actually starting is I'm doing a month. Each month is going to have a genre. So this month is Mystery Month because it's Mystery May. And then next month it's actually going to be LGBTQ and YA. And so we're going to have like a Facebook party, and there's going to be giveaways and stuff like that, but it takes all time to organize that. So the one we're having this Saturday, May 25th, is a Facebook party for mystery authors, but it's small, right? Because I didn't have time to organize a big party, but I would like those to get bigger and bigger. So each month I want it to be centered on one particular genre and really feature the authors that write in that genre. So one of the things I was thinking of doing was having like a featured author every week to have an interview with that author. I'd love to have a video interview with the author, just so that the reader can get to know a little bit more about that author. So that's one thing I really want to do. That's sort of next on the list.
That's awesome. You said you were also a teacher. What do you teach?
I'm a high school teacher. I teach biology. But I'm also a coordinator for this program called International Baccalaureate. It's an international program that's at the local level. Some people know all about it. In our district, it's a brand new program. So a lot of people don't know about it. So I'm the coordinator for that program.
That's a pretty big undertaking too.
Yeah, it's been massive, but it's been so much fun. I've loved doing it.
And how long have you been teaching?
It sounds like you're familiar with the IB program.
I was a high school teacher in my previous life. So yeah, I'm familiar with IB and some of the other different types of with Avid, and then
okay.
I forget some of the other stuff we did, but yeah, the IB program. And the IB programs here in where I live now.
Oh, okay.
Big in the school districts here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
Yeah. So I've been teaching, let's see, what year is this? 18 years.
Wow. Yeah. I taught 12 years. I was 4 years in a high school English class and then 8 years in the library.
Oh, fun.
So
I think the library is fun.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I mean, I got paid to read.
Yeah.
That's like the best job of anybody, you know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why do you think, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Why do you think, or how do you think authors can continue to use social media in a way that will work and still follow all these arbitrary guidelines that nobody really knows for sure what they are?
Are you talking like on Facebook and Amazon?
Facebook, Amazon, any of those things like that. What are some tips that maybe you've learned or that other authors have shared with you, not on how to do it, but like how to do it and not get in trouble?
That's a great question, because from everything that I've seen and talked to, it almost seems arbitrary. Like some authors get dinged, and then they constantly get put in the crapper. Excuse my language, but they cannot use. Yeah, I'm a high school teacher, you know.
No, that's awesome. I could have come up with a couple other things, but
yeah. This is PG, right? So, yeah, and then they're forbidden from using Facebook for 24 hours or for a week, and it just seems arbitrary. I can't figure it out. You know, I think the best advice that I can give, and this is one of the reasons that I wanted to start the website, is, you know, authors still need to be true to who they are. Mm-hmm. They need to be true to their brand. So if they write spicy, they're not going to be posting pictures of puppies and flowers, right? Because that is not true to their brand, and they're going to be pissing a whole bunch of readers off. I think probably the best thing that they can do is really branch out and find other ways of reaching readers. Do not put all of their eggs in one basket. Don't just do Facebook, or don't just do Twitter. Don't just do a newsletter. As much as possible, to really, especially if you're writing and that can get you banned from Facebook, to really have other ways of accessing readers. I have heard a lot of people say, pick one thing that you want to do and do that well, right? Don't spend a lot of energy doing lots of different things. And there's definitely wisdom in that. The problem is that with this changing landscape of social media, if something gets pulled out from underneath you and you've only put your eggs in that one basket, that's it, right? Mm-hmm. So there needs to be a way, and I've been seeing a lot of authors do this, especially recently, or not just recently, but they've been doing it for a while now, but I've seen a lot more pop up recently, which is doing cooperative marketing with other authors of the same genre. Mm-hmm. So it'll be like 12 authors on one website. And that will drive readers to the website that are not just their readers, it's readers of other authors as well. And that has had, I think, a fair amount of success. And then you are controlling your message more. You're controlling what gets out there more. Mm-hmm. And that seems an important thing to do. And that was the whole idea of Love Romance Reads too, that it would be a way to, it was just that idea of having a cooperative website, but instead of it just being 12 authors, it would be several hundred authors, romance authors doing it together.
And you do all genres of romance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I sure do, yeah. From sweet to erotica. Okay. So, yeah, absolutely. And actually on the website, it has different listings. I do the specific authors, but I also have genre listings as well. So people can go by genre and see just the names of books and then click on it, and it will take a reader to the author's page.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And about how many authors do you have there so far?
I have 264.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And you would have 265 if I would fill out my Google Doc form.
Wait, I thought you did.
I think I did, but I don't know if I did it right.
No, you did. You're up there.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Because I know that I keep getting, I've saved that email after we set up the interview. So I saved the email, but what ends up happening is I have started to save emails and then save emails and save emails, and then it's no longer on the top of the list. So I have to scroll down to see it, and I don't really scroll down. So,
yeah, I forget my emails. I have to admit, I've been telling people recently, my brain's been like Swiss cheese.
It's near the end of school.
Yes.
When is school out for you?
It's pretty much over now because I'm basically teaching seniors. So they're pretty much wrapped up, but June 4th is graduation.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, around here, school doesn't get out until June, the second week of June. But
Mm.
I mean, all the kids are just around here doing like it's summer. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think one of the things, this isn't really a question so much a statement, but I think we can discuss it a little bit. I think one of the great things about the indie author movement and social media is it allows readers to connect a whole lot more
Mm-hmm.
to the authors than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
And that in some ways has been an incredible thing. I've been really lucky to have really awesome experiences.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I just had a reader today who said, I just finished your book. I really liked it. And what are you going to do next? And can you tell me who? It's an overarching kind of plot for the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, can you just tell me who did it? I'm like, no, I can't, because I'm still trying to work out all the details myself. So, but I'm like, and
Well, tell them
that's,
your secret.
I know. No, actually, if I do know who it is, I just had to figure out how to make it that person.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's also it's interesting because I feel like people have let me into their life,
Mm.
and that's been a blessing. And but it's been a learning experience for me to come out of my shell. But you had mentioned, being true to your brand. I think that's really important for us authors to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a matter of, if I write erotica, making sure that my branding follows that genre. It's not just that. It's more like your inner thoughts, your inner beliefs, being true to those too.
Mm-hmm.
And making sure that people see that. If you are somebody who is, you mentioned, I probably will forget one of these initials, the LGBTQ
Right.
community. And please, nobody be offended if I lift an initial out. If you are somebody, or if you're a Jewish author, or if you're a Latina author, letting people be true to who you are in those communities too, and letting people in on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an incredible thing. I mean, Stephen King doesn't post, vacation pictures. There's the one author that I refuse to say the name, but it's the one with the big throne. We don't say the game that he plays with the throne. We don't say his name because I can't. I got so frustrated with that series, I quit reading it. But I mean, there's no real connection between that person and the readers the way there is in the indie community. And it's an incredible experience. And so with the website that you have, which I just think is awesome, it's just another avenue that we need to take advantage of.
Yeah, and that's a really good point too, because I found that a lot of the authors, which, of course, it's going to be the smaller names author, for the most part, the smaller name authors that come to the website, because they're the ones that are doing their own marketing for the most part, right? And it's not their PA, their personal assistant, or their virtual assistant that's doing it for them. That it has been a great avenue for indie authors. I think one of the things, if I could go back a little bit to what you were saying about your own branding and your branding of who you are, and that it's specific, or more specific, lends itself more to indie authors. I think that's absolutely right, because a lot of authors, at least what I've noticed, indie authors are not just selling their story, they're selling themselves.
Absolutely.
Right?
And as a reader, I tend to buy authors more than books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I agree. I think a lot of readers do that spend a lot of time on Facebook, right? My mom, I don't know if she would be a good example of that, because she Like I'll tell her, oh, I met this author or this friend, and you read her book and you really liked it. And this is, she was like, oh, okay. Like she wasn't really interested in knowing the author,
Mm-hmm.
but she does not spend hardly any time on Facebook either. Right?
Somehow my light is getting dark. Okay. I'm still
Is it
here.
nighttime there?
Actually, yeah, it is. So, you know what?
I'm still day. It's still bright outside.
There. That's a little bit brighter.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of discussions among the author world of how much do you actually tell? How much do you share about yourself? And I think that's an important question when we're talking about branding and what do we put out there, right? Like political opinions, and some people feel very strongly that they're going to put their political opinions out there, and some people feel very strongly, no, I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not yet for me, because I'll sometimes post stuff both as Love Romance Reads and as myself. I have not found a comfortable place for me yet, right? Like I'm not sure how much, because I don't want to scare people away, because that's not the point. This isn't a political zone. But I do want people to feel at home when they come to the website,
Mm-hmm.
right? And authors are dealing with the same thing, I think.
I think the way I try to think of it is like, this is my philosophy. If anybody's car were to break down outside of my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter who it is, I'm going to at least go out there and say, hey, do you need me to call Auto Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a somewhat good friend, I might have you come hang out on my porch. If you're a really good friend, I'll have you come hang out inside. And if you're like my best friend, well, then I'll just go fix your car for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my best friend, I would probably share a lot of my political opinions with, because we have the same mindset. And I know that if we disagree, she's still going to be my best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think with Facebook, what I try to do is treat everybody like those porch friends.
Mm.
Like I'm not going to talk about necessarily whether I agreed with our current president, or whether I disagree with our current president, or whether I want to do, whether I agree in abortion or not agree in abortion, because I don't even know you well enough to know how you feel. And if you were on my porch, you're still in my house. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of try to think of it like that. And I also think about, before I was a writer, what did I do on Facebook? Was I outlandish in my speech? Did I talk about every bad thing that happened in my day? Did I post about how horrible life was? Or did I have fun? Did I keep things at a neutral? And then I've tried to just do that. Because like, if you came on this show, and I said, oh my God, Carissa, my kids are driving me crazy. And, my husband and I got in a fight because, I forgot to buy crackers at the grocery store. You're going to be like, Terri, I don't even remember your last name. Why are you telling me this stuff?
Yeah.
And so I just think that's an important way to look at it.
No, that's really good advice. It's a good way to think of it. And I think indie authors especially, need to really think about that before, during, their whole career, because I've seen it go south really quickly in certain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think you said one word real quick before. I think it's important for people that are out there trying to become published, or who have maybe just published 1 or 2 books, think about setting up a platform before they actually have a book. That's my opinion. It doesn't have to be a big platform. You don't have to have thousands of, raving lunatic fans who just, Terri, we don't have to have that. But it's nice to have a couple people who at least know your name. And
Definitely.
So I think Seth Rogen, I think that's name. He is a big social media person. And that was something that he had suggested in his books is before you launch anything, have some people who can carry your message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, and I think what's important, like with a service like what you're offering is, you know, some PR companies, if you only have 5 reviews, they won't even open your email.
Right.
So even if you have money that you can send them, they don't want it.
Right.
And so a service like what you're doing is good because it's going to help those people who don't have a ton of reviews.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's also a numbers game too. I know there's a lot of, especially some writers in my group, talk about ROI, return on investment. And if you're going to spend $35 for something, what's your return on investment? Well, my price is so small and my website is just growing, you're not going to see a direct ROI, right? It's really going to be sort of the long-term getting your name out there, establishing yourself with a network or expanding your network of authors and readers. You know, I've had some authors come on and say they absolutely loved the interaction that they had with the readers on a blog post. And, you know, I didn't want to say, I was thrilled that she said that to me because she was just so excited about how many people had responded to her blog post and had left comments, and like solid comments too, right? Not just, hey, thank you, and moving on, but really commenting on what she had to say. And I swear that the majority of those readers had to have come from her fan base because not every blog post has that amount of readers posting things.
Well, and that works out good for you too. It's a give and take. You've created this platform for us authors. But when we share like, hey, I was on Carissa's Love Romance Books blog, come check out my blog post, people are going to go to you there. And then while they're there, oh,
exactly.
I saw this author here. Oh, I saw this author here. Or, hey, I'm an author, but I also am a reader. You know, I'm a reader. I think all of us authors are readers before we were ever authors. Hey, I'm going to contact Carissa. I want to be on that blog post.
Yeah, exactly. And that was sort of the whole idea, or one of the main ideas, right? And besides that you're not going to get kicked out because I didn't like your picture, I didn't like your review.
I'm one of those reviewers who got kicked off of Amazon.
What did you do?
I have no idea.
Really?
I have no idea.
That's crazy. That is just crazy to me.
And I even emailed them and said, can you specifically, I have a suspicion what happened was I had ordered a bunch of stuff at Christmas time. And I basically just copied and pasted the same review. Was a great experience. Product was exactly what I wanted. You know, shipped on time. Just something generic like that. And I think, and then like 2 days after I did that on about 8 different products, not books, just product, they pulled all my reviews and they said I violated violated the TOC, the terms of whatever it is, terms of condition, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, and then I emailed them. I said, well, can you tell me exactly what I did?
Nope.
And they didn't.
No.
And I even explained to them, like, if it was this, this is why it happened. Nothing.
Yeah, and they probably, and see, that to me, that story is so infuriating. I've heard that over and over and over again on different, you know, whether it's an author being put into the dungeon, the erotic dungeon, even if their book wasn't erotica. Stupid things about covers, like you can't accept this cover because, oh my gosh, you show too much shoulder, you know, stuff like that. It just seems so arbitrary. And I think they probably just can't respond to as many things that they get. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? That, like with the letter that you sent, they probably like, we don't have time to deal with this and we're still going to make money. And, you know, it's not we don't want to spend the hours or the time, the people time to
Right.
actually respond to that. But who gets damaged by that the most are the indie authors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the readers who are just really trying to spread the love of the books that they read.
And that's it. That's the thing. Spread the love.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's an important thing I want to say real quick. When you do read a book, I've had people who will say, well, I read this book and I really liked it. And I'll say, oh, and this was even before I was writing, like, oh, well, make sure you post a review. Well, I don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to say is, I really liked this book. And
Mm-hmm.
that's it. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be 6,000-7,000, words.
Yeah.
I got into the habit of writing longer reviews, for one, to take up space on my blog. And I had a book review blog. And
Mm-hmm.
number two, some of the services that I worked with, some of the blog tour companies, they required a certain length for reviews. So I just got 5 sentences was the standard. So I got into the habit of making all my reviews 5 sentences. But
okay.
if you are out there listening, readers, I'm pointing to you. You don't have to have flowery reviews. You don't.
Yeah, I don't write flower. I mean, when I write reviews, which I honestly don't do very often, and the reason I don't is because I'm friends with a lot of authors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I will not review an author's book that I know.
Mm-hmm.
So even usually, sometimes I do. I don't know. I was going to say, unless I absolutely love it, but then that means the one I didn't review, I didn't love it, but that's not necessarily true. But when I do review books, all you have to say, and this is what I do, what I liked, what I didn't like, because usually there's something you didn't like. And if you didn't like, if it was perfect, just say there was nothing I didn't like, right?
Yeah.
What I like, what I didn't like, and would I recommend this to someone else?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
And it is okay to not like a book and still leave a review. And you can do that without making it personal. I've had a couple of people, I've had a couple reviews, when I had my book for free, someone reviewed it and said, even for free, it was too much money.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay. But I'm like, they didn't tell me why. And I was prepared to accept the negative reviews. I prepared myself long before I published my first book. But just tell me why. Like, you didn't like it because the dialogue it didn't flow, or you didn't like it because I had one person who gave me a lower review on a newer book than what she normally does. And she said, this one was just missing something, Terri. I said, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're still on the Christmas card list. I'll still, you can still be
I'll invite you in.
I'll invite you in. So,
yeah.
Well, Carissa, I want to thank you so much for stopping in and talking with me tonight.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun. First time I've done this, so this has been
cool.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I popped your interview cherry.
You did.
Yeah, we just lost that PG rating. Okay.
No, not yet. I didn't comment on it besides that.
I also want to thank you for watching this pop-up interview. As I said before, pop-up interviews happen randomly. It's whenever it's convenient for me and for my speaker, for my guest. And the best way to find out about the pop-up interviews is to subscribe to the channel. So hit the bell down below. You'll get a notification and hit the subscription button and then hit the thumbs up, because I know you enjoyed Carissa as much as I enjoyed Carissa. I will make sure and put all of her information down in the description below, so that you can find out if you're an author. You know what? Go to her website. I'm going to finish my homework with her, and I'm going to get done what I need to get done. And I'm thinking I'm going to be sending out $35, because that's a great deal. If you are a reader, a book blogger, if you are a cover designer, if you are a PA, if you are an editor, if you do audiobooks, let me know. I want to talk to you guys. Like I said, I'm taking the months of June and July off only because I'm having several vacations and a couple conferences in, and it's just going to be a little bit too hectic to get everything scheduled. but I am already filling up for August. So please go to my website, terriawilson.com, and click on the pop-up interview link, and let's get connected. Thank you so much, Carissa.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Everybody have a great night.